welcome back to Maniacal Reader. Today I'm doing my January and February book haul. The reason why I'm combining these 2 months is because I only bought 5 books in January and that wasn't enough for a book haul in my opinion, so that's why I'm combining both months. The first book I want to show you is Breakable by Tammara. This is the second book in her Contours of the Heart series, and this is a new adult romance series. I've talked about this series a couple times on my channel. This was one of the series I wanted to read before the end of 2017, but unfortunately I didn't get around to it. I have a feeling that I'm really going to like this series. It's taken years for all the books in the series to come out, but I'm glad that I finally own them all. Breakable is the second book. Next up is Sweet, which is the third book in the series. And finally there's Brave, the fourth book in the series. The next few books are books that I purchased on my Kindle. Next up I have Until You by Penelope Douglas. This is book 1.5 in her Followaway series, and this is a new adult romance series. Book 1 and book 1.5 follow the romance of a girl named Tate and a guy named Jared. But book 1.5 is the events of the first book, but from the guy's point of view, Jared. This isn't necessarily a retelling of the first book, since we do get some extra scenes and we do get some new information that we didn't get to know about in Bully. So this book 1.5 is actually Jared's story. I read this series at the end of January, so I'll link my January wrap-up down below in case you guys want to hear more of my thoughts on this book. The next book I have is Rival by Penelope Douglas. This is book 2 in her Followaway series. And this book follows Jared's best friend Maddox and his relationship with a girl named Fallon. Maddox and Fallon are actually step-siblings, but they never consider themselves to be step-siblings because their parents' marriage is just a sham and just for show and all about image. I read this book at the end of January, and you can definitely hear more of my thoughts in my January wrap-up about this book. The next book I purchased is Falling Away. This is the third book in the Followaway series by Penelope Douglas. And this book follows the romance of Jared's younger brother Jackson and his relationship with a girl named Casey, who is Tate's best friend. This is the book in the Followaway series that I liked the least, but I ended up giving this book 3 stars. I did enjoy it, but it's definitely not the best book in this series. The next book I have is The Next Flame by Penelope Douglas. This is the final book in the Followaway series, and this book is actually a bind-up of books 4 and 4.5 in the series. Half of the book covers the story of Flame, which follows Tate and Jared's relationship years later. It also is the final whole book in the series that closes the chapter on all of the characters from the Followaway series. The second half of the book, book 4.5, is a novella that introduces readers of the children of the characters from the Followaway series. And there's eventually going to be a spin-off series from this main Followaway series. I'm looking forward to that. Overall, I really enjoyed this series. It's an awesome new adult romance series, and I could definitely see myself being friends with these characters. So I really enjoyed this series a lot. Next up, I have The Long Walk by Stephen King. This is an adult horror novel, but it's really more of a post-apocalyptic book. It follows these boys who basically enter into a race called The Long Walk, and they have to walk for miles without stopping, without having a chance for a break to go to the bathroom or eat or anything. They only have to complete this long walk, and at the end of the long walk, whoever wins this race gets a chance to have anything they want. I've really been into post-apocalyptic lately. I recently have been watching Books with Emily Fox's channel, which I'll link down below. She's read a few Stephen King books. She read a few in 2017, and she got me interested in Stephen King, so that's why I picked up this book. I also picked up Salem's Lot by Stephen King. I don't know much about this book other than the fact that it's a classic vampire story, and I'm interested in vampires, so this book sounds intriguing to me. I've also heard that this is the best book to start with if you're new to Stephen King, so that's why I chose to pick up this one. I also have Destined by Stephen King, which is also an adult horror novel, but it does have a post-apocalyptic feel to it. This book is about this patient who escapes from a psychiatric facility carrying a deadly weapon, which is a super flu that kills almost the the entire human population, so I think this book is just about humanity trying to find a way to survive now that a super flu virus has taken out almost all of their population. I've heard Stephen King writes really long books, and this book in particular is huge. It sounds really exciting, so hopefully it's not too repetitive, and hopefully the plot and the action keep me interested. We'll see. I'm looking forward to this book though. It sounds incredibly interesting. Next up, I have Something in the Way by Jessica Hawkins. This is a book that I bought on my Kindle, and it's the first book in a new adult romance trilogy. It follows this girl who's always been in love with this guy named Maniacal. She's always loved him. It doesn't really matter, since there's a significant age gap between them. Manning has always tried to keep the main character at arm's length, and he doesn't really think they would fit well together because of their age gap, and he's older and more experienced, so he doesn't really think a relationship would work between them. The main character isn't really sure if she should get in a relationship with him because even though she's always loved him, her sister saw him next. It sounds like this could be a deeply emotional read filled with a lot of angst. It definitely sounds like we have a love triangle between the main character, Manning Setter, and her sister, and them trying to navigate their relationships with each other. I don't really read a lot of books with love triangles, but this does sound intriguing to me. Hopefully the love triangle is written well in this book. I've heard good things about this trilogy, and I love angsty romances, so I'm looking forward to getting to this one. Next up, I have Dangerous Hearts by K.K. Allen. This is the first book in a duet, and this is a new adult romance duet. It follows this girl named Lyric Cassidy, who's recently gotten her heart broken by a rock star. And in order to get over her breakup, she decides to take a job as a road manager. And while she's a road manager for this band, she falls for the lead singer named Wolf. When she comes across Wolf, she's determined to just focus on her job and keep her head held high. But she finds herself growing feelings for Wolf. And Wolf loves this lifestyle, and he has a lineup of one-night stands. But when he gets to know Lyric, he finds himself falling for her, especially her fiery temper. I mentioned this book in my February TBR, and I'm actually reading this book this month. This sounds like a really good rockstar romance. I'm intrigued. I find that I like rockstar romances ever since I read the Thoughtless series by S.C. Stevens, so hopefully I like this one as well. And the last book in this book haul is Destined Hearts, which is the second book in this rockstar romance duet. The first book ends on a cliffhanger, so I'm definitely reading both of these books back to back. I'm looking forward to them. Those are all of the books that I purchased in January and February. Comment down below and tell me what books you've bought lately. I'd love to know. If you want to see more videos from me, I'll put a couple of videos on the screen in case you guys want to check those out. If you haven't done so already, you can subscribe as well. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in my next one.